All right, we are back for my second MX Linux review. This is the default MX Linux with XFCE as the desktop environment. And it's great. I love it. I used the snapshot feature to reinstall this version. It worked like a charm, which was great. So the only little hiccup was that one of the things you do with Snapshot when you run the live USB that has the ISO installed on it from the Snapshot, and you burn that onto a USB just like you would any other Linux ISO, and you get that up and running and on your running on your computer. And normally what you would do is you would click on the install MX Linux icon, but for some reason it didn't show up on my desktop, and I think that might be because I removed it myself, I believe. I don't know. So it took me a little while to figure it out, but basically what you do is you go to the MX Linux welcome page, which is under MX Linux Tools, and you go to MX Welcome, and then where is it? Oh, it doesn't have it now because I think I've already installed it. So normally what happened was, after poking around long enough, I realized that the install icon was in here in the welcome window here, and so I was able to use that to install the live USB version of my Snapshot as my actual desktop. So that worked out good. So since I've had it up and running, it is running really well. With no other apps running, it's at about 10% of the RAM usage. Right now I think I just have this simple screen recorder app running, and it's running at 15%. So it's running pretty well, and that's I think it was at 13% with Fluxbox with one app running. So it's a little bit higher than Fluxbox, but I think at the resting rate, this was like with no apps at all, it's at 10% RAM. And I can't remember what the Fluxbox was. Fluxbox might have been a little bit lower. It might have been 7%. I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, it's pretty close. 10, 7, 13 or 15. They're pretty close. But that's right. No, KDE. I'm sorry, KDE was at 7%, I believe. So KDE has been the lowest one without any apps running, which is pretty cool. So I'm having a really hard time choosing between the XFCE and the KDE because they both look awesome, and I kind of like messing around with KDE because it seems like it has a lot of kind of more customization things that you can do with KDE. So I don't know. I'm gonna try that next with the next Snapshot and run that for a few days and see how I like it. But it's really close. Like, I'm having a really hard time. So let's see. So that's the Snapshot. I also installed the Cairo dock and Plank and Latte dock as well on this version. And my advice to you is to not mess around with those. Cairo, I just couldn't get it how I wanted it to look, and just ended up uninstalling it because it got so frustrating. And Plank was really basic, and just didn't look the way I wanted it to look. And then when I installed Latte, I was kind of excited about Latte. I'd never heard of that one before. So I tried it out, and it's actually, from what I read, it's in the KDE, the family of KDE it's built for KDE basically. So I thought that one might be cool, but that one I couldn't get that to do anything that I wanted to do either. And it installed a bunch of dependencies, and I finally uninstalled it because it kind of took over my side panel here and installed a version of the dock as my side panel. And then I had a little dock on the bottom too, and I couldn't use the button down here anymore, the start button, and couldn't really do much with the side dock at that point, and couldn't get the bottom dock to do anything I wanted either. And I also noticed that when I had the dock running, and that was the only thing running, nothing else was going, no other apps, it was the RAM usage was up to 20%, so I thought that was kind of high. And instead of continuing to mess around with it, I just uninstalled it because I just didn't want to deal with it. And when I uninstalled it, none of the dependencies, and there were like a ton of dependencies that came with the app, none of them were uninstalled. So I almost used the snapshot feature again, and that's actually a good reason to have snapshot for situations like that. Like if it had continued to mess around with the performance of the computer, I probably would have used the snapshot feature to reinstall my system back to where it was just a day or two ago. But it didn't. Once I uninstalled the Latte dock, it went right back to where it was before, so right around 10%. So that was okay. But again, just a good reason to have that snapshot feature, which is really cool. So what else did I want to talk about? So I have the KDE Connect going, which is kind of cool. And it works really well with this XFCE version. One of the things with the KDE Connect for this default XFCE version, and I'm not sure if this is true for the KDE side, but you have to have download and install the separate SMS KDE Connect so that you can view your text messages and such. Let's see, where is that? I can't remember where KDE Connect is. It might have been, yeah, there it is, Internet. So you have the KDE Connect, which is the actual app. Then you have the indicator, which puts the indicator over here in this little in the panel here, and then you have the KDE Connect SMS, and so you have to make sure and download all three of those so that you can get all the functionality of KDE Connect, which is cool because you can see your text messages, you can see any notifications, you can actually use your phone as a mouse, which is really cool, and I've done that a few times, and it's actually nice when you're lounging, hanging around, and want to move stuff around on your computer without getting up. You can just get your phone and use that as a mouse, so it's kind of nice. So what else? So yeah, I think that's about it. Actually, I've installed the Vivaldi browser again. I installed Steam, and that seems to be running pretty good. I downloaded a few games, Surviving Mars and a few other things. And let's see what else I don't think I installed too much else besides that. I got the codecs, the MX codecs, which is cool, so that you don't have to worry about any weird, problems with MP3s or Flash or anything. And yeah, it looks good. It's running good. I got Conky going the way I want it, and it looks great. I haven't messed around with themes too much. I think I have. Let me see what theme I have. Let's see. Check out the themes here. I think I changed the theme. let's check it out. Let's see. Codex. Yeah, no, so I kept, it looks like I kept the default. Whoops. I kept the default theme. I haven't messed around with themes yet. So I'm going to do that. Let's see. That's not bad. Yeah, I like this one. This one's nice. I kind of like Obsidian too, but yeah, I don't like the dark as much. I think we'll stick with the C. So yeah, so you can do, you know, a lot of cool customization, and it's pretty nice. I gotta say, I'm really happy with it. Before MX Linux, I was using Linux Voyager, and that was pretty close to this. Actually, they used XFCE too, and it was nice. You know, it's by a bunch of French people, you know, and so you had to deal with some weird, like you could choose to download the English version, but there were still some kind of vestiges of the, you know, French and some of the menus and some of the settings and stuff like that. But it wasn't so bad because I was trying to learn French back then anyway, so that worked out okay. But it wasn't, you know, it wasn't anything very, you know, it didn't get in the way too much, just once in a while. But I think MX Linux really, you know, took XFCE and really brought it to another level. And it looks great, and it works great, and I'm really happy with it. So I'll try the KDE probably in a couple days, and probably run it for a couple days before I do a review. So if you want to check it out, come back and see what happens. All right. Bye-bye.